Isaac obviously got you off to a good start, but it seems like all the guys were locked in early. Were you pleased with their approach, the way they approached this game?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I thought we were a couple times defensively we were having trouble communicating. So, again, you play against the possessions, you play against the game, you respect the opponent. They had four guys out, 3 or 4 of their key guys, and so you just didn't know what to have, and that's tough. And I knew that, so I was like, all right, play against. I just didn't want them to get. We were kind of charting, are they shooting contested shots? So we challenged them with a few things, but yeah, the guys moved the ball, and when obviously Isaac gets going like that, the guys looked for him, they found him, and got a good opportunity for the other guys. I thought that second group, though it was against Syracuse's top starter or top guys, was better in this opportunity, and we talked about that, and we practiced hard with those guys leading up to it, and you just find the positives in that. But everybody got good minutes, and hopefully Elijah's okay. I think he just got cracked across the nose.
Tony, you mentioned kind of the way they've come out. You've played a varied schedule of some big name teams and some lesser teams. How do you like the consistency of the approach, kind of regardless of opponent?
We have no other option, because if we don't come out right, it doesn't matter who will play, we'll get beat. And, the second our guys think differently is the second that we'll lose. And you can't afford that. It's not our margin of error, like a lot of teams, some don't, but is awfully slim. So we have no other way, and there's no shame in that. That's just the way it is. Come out ready, and either you're a team that is building towards being as sound and tough on both ends with the right approach, or you're just a pretender. And our guys understand that they can't be that way. We don't have any other options. And as you play, we've played some good competition. And again, this team was down with their injuries. It shouldn't affect your approach. And once it does, then we've lost our identity, and that would be a sad day.
Coach, Jake was a little bit quiet tonight, but just what does his presence bring offensively,
Yeah.
especially with what you guys are running?
Well, he can stretch the floor with his shot, but he's a little more skilled. And I thought in the Syracuse game he was active and did a good job with his defensive assignments and his blockouts. He's not always going to grab the blockouts, but he's getting better at checking and getting his guy off. And again, had some nice alertness, ball screen defense coverages, being in the right position. So his skill and his ability to stretch it and put it on the floor, make passes, helps the offense. And the starting five we have, all 5 of those guys can do some things offensively, and we're trying to put them in the right spots. And again, I'm excited to see how Isaac is looking to be assertive and establish that. And then different guys, our guys understand they play for each other. No one's trying to get their own. If a guy's rolling, they look for him. And you saw Reese dishing off. If he gets a steal, dishing it off in the transition so guys can get their stuff. I don't know if he thought it was Ryan or Jake on that one alley-oop he threw, but it wasn't quite the same result if it was Ryan, but he made it, so that's good.
Jeff and then Mike.
22 points and 22 fast break points tonight. I know you're not necessarily going to get that every game, but it seems like this group, you have maybe more than some years, guys who can finish in transition. So are you emphasizing or encouraging them to look for that if it's there?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, Isaac, some guys we talk about have a green light if it's a rhythm push transition 3. Some guys have a yellow light, and some guys have a bright red light, and that means don't shoot it transition 3. But, of course, if you can get ahead and get to the lane and have a good layup, or if obviously we force a turnover or a long rebound, take advantage of it and just have good feel. But, again, you're seeing Isaac got a couple of those in transition 3s, and, that's good to see. Use those. Again, this team, it was hard to say, but in some of the other games, any way we can get points, we're not scoring. We don't pound it inside and have post guys that go to work. We use more cuts into the post. I thought Leon had a nice outing. He was aggressive and showed some of his ability. Actually, some of our smaller guys are a little more effective on the low post or even that off the lane. We call it the playmaker spot. And so obviously you get guys in there and then have some action going on while the ball's in their hands.
It might be obvious, but how much does it help the defense in the pack when the shots are going in and guys can kind of get back and get set and force teams to operate against, a set 5?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime some teams will take it out of the net and get down the floor fast off makes, but when you're taking the ball out of bounds, that just allows you, and that is such a key as the competition goes up, making teams play against a set defense. That's a backbreaker when people can get down the floor quick and get to the rim or hurt your defense. We have to have our defense set, almost every time as we continue on in this season. So we work on that, and of course, made shots help. That's why careless turnovers or either a poor decision can cost you in that.
Coach, I believe Elijah was 5 for 6 from 2-point range tonight. It seems like he's flashing a little bit more of a scorer. Do you expect that out of him this season?
Yeah, no, he's a natural. Again, we talked about it. I think he missed his whole senior year with his injury. And again, just even in the last month, I feel like he's taken a step with physical, like him being able to explode, cut, and a little more timing. And, he goes against in practice a lot of times. It's Reese or Dante, other guys. So he's had to, get his ball taken if he wasn't right. So I think all that stuff helped. And then you see his ability to, that pull-up, how quick he's off the floor, and he's slick with the handles. And, he's still coming defensively. And I'm glad he made a 3 because his shot, he's got to keep ironing that out. But he's a classic, to me, combo guard that can, he can go get his own shot, but he also can touch the paint and find some other people. So these last couple games, terrific for him to get these minutes. And I threw him in there against Texas A&M in a pretty tight game. So the fact that in 3 games he's gotten, whatever minutes he's received has been very good for him coming off the red shirt.
Early season, but what do you like about Bond, and what do you think his upside is for a redshirt freshman?
Yeah, no, him being in his first year, I think you can see he's got, he's crafty around the lane. He's got a real nice fall-away pull-up. He can score on the blocks or a little bit off, slash. As he continues to learn how to be continuous and think even a little quicker defensively, then he can start using his length and his athleticism. Sometimes he's a little behind the play because he's still trying to think through stuff. And when it becomes more, we always say when he anticipates more instead of reacts defensively, that'll help him. But some of his natural instincts I love, and he's really improved. He's improved his ball handling. He's improved his shot. And I think his best basketball is in front of him. And I think in his case, the redshirt year was spot on for him to just develop, get stronger, and now he's getting some of these opportunities. But he's one of those guys in the West Virginia game, you saw it, he has a knack for finding an offensive rebound, making a play, and he can get you different kinds of baskets. So I'm hopeful that he'll keep coming and he'll become a nice part of this rotation.
Tony, we talked a lot about Groves and Harris before he got hurt. Rhodey, how has he fit in? Where's his game at? And then the same with Jordan Minor. Is he struggling with the adjustment a little?
Yeah, I think, Andrew, you see his ability, his feels. Even though he played a little bit, 6 assists, he really passes the ball. And he's not afraid. He's an aggressive player, and he just moves without the ball, can play with the ball in his hands, and he's understanding more defensively where he's at. So I think he's fitting in well. He's getting a lot of opportunity, and obviously has to keep coming. Jordan, it's an adjustment. He played zone all 4 years, and he's physical and strong. And I know today he was discouraged because he missed some bunnies and things like that. But his physicality and his work ethic will have to win out in this. And, that's where, I always encourage those guys, just keep battling and don't hang your head. And there is an adjustment, whether you're in your 4th or 5th year or you're in your first year, when you either are coming to this level or just a new system, ours, anyone else's, it takes time. And especially, if with Jordan, he played all zone for those years. And, you can see that he has some of those. If we were a zone team, I think he'd have some instincts for that, but that's a little bit of a challenge and getting used to the size and all that stuff. But he'll keep coming and he'll keep working, and he's a wonderful teammate. So all that stuff's good, and I think all of our new guys, transfers, the team, I think they have a good chemistry in terms of playing for each other and accepting whatever comes their way.